So it's always being in the future, but also in the past at the same time. So I think that makes our souls very unique as well, because being born and raised in Istanbul and still creating projects from Istanbul is making you super dynamic and diverse, and to be more tolerated and understanding of the many different ideas. As architects, as artists, we need that triggers. We need that small portions of inspirations that can make you feel like, okay, maybe I need to step out of this and think of it from another perspective. And together with my business partner, Sarah Al Jamal, we are conducting global projects from Dubai, Istanbul, and Canada.
I was born and raised in the UAE, a place that thrives on blending culture and innovation. Growing up in such a dynamic environment gave me an appreciation for both tradition and progress.
So we are creating all of these projects, both virtual and physical, with art, architecture, and technology mindset.
We now have 3 different mediums to deal with. And that is being the virtual, the physical, and the digital.
Digital artists Begum Aydinoğlu and Sarah Al Jamal presented their work, Echoes of Light, at Dubai Design Week in November 2024. Aimed at introducing audiences of all ages to a sensory and interactive experience, the installation used various plays of light and color to express different concepts to the audience.
If we're interfacing something digitally, from our computer, from our cell phone, it's all about the light creates a different layer of perception. And what we wanted to use light as almost a texture of our reality. And with the installation that we did, it was quite fluid in the way, not because it was really fluid, but the light effect that we were creating there was creating that fluidity perspective. And fluidity in the way as a design language is quite interesting because as humans, we want to also be more fluid rather than more rigid. So rigidity and fluidity, if you kind of mix them and combine them together, there comes interesting aspects of it. But what really catched our attention was to see how kids were interacting with it, not as a playful way, but it was kind of creating a more extended imaginary world for them. They kind of created many routes between 2 gates in the installation. They kind of observed how light changes the texture. And I think that changed how the parents are interacting with it as well. And it's never the same as the previous day, because also the patterns, the textures, the light textures are changing accordingly. So that's almost like an abstraction of time and in the way of how time intersects with the art. I'm really inspired by the Mukarnas geometries that you can find in historical mosques and Islamic architecture. The 3D computational aspect of the Mukarnas is very inspiring for me, and currently I am exploring a more avant-garde version of Mukarnas and how can we integrate it with the more 3D printing techniques to create an idea of how we can use the geometries that has been developed on the historical architectural practices and how we can use the current and the future's construction and design techniques to create maybe a new language.
And that being said, there's always a way to integrate art in everything that you do.